Hello everyone and welcome back to the greatest place on earth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel of the tubes, the tubey woo. Today we're going to be talking about hustle culture because it's something that's been on my mind a little bit and I just want to rant and get some thoughts out, and I want to tell you why I am unsubscribing to it. For those of you who don't know, or you may not have seen this term flying around, hustle culture is something that has become a part of our modern working world. If you don't know what it is, I'm surprised that you've managed to exist this far online without hearing about it, because it is fucking everywhere. It emphasizes and glorifies working fucking hard and long hours. The main focus of hustle culture is being productive all of the time, being ambitious. It's working without taking time for yourself to rest. And it's kind of devoid of any work-life balance. It's the idea that anyone, anywhere can reach their goals if they just work harder. I suppose it's kind of like the American dream, which I, as a non-American, am somehow familiar with. Hustle culture assuages that you have to have side hustles and you have to put in overtime, and it tells us that work should be our number one priority or we won't get anywhere in life. So it's the idea that you have to be constantly productive in order to be worth anything as a human being if you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And we all know that this is rubbish. I think rationally, if you think it through, everybody knows that it's rubbish. And it's such a privileged way of viewing the world. Anyone with any amount of success should tell you and be honest with you that yes, you do have to work fucking hard in order to achieve goals. But success also comes down to your mental ability, your race, your privilege, the support you have around you, whether or not you're able-bodied. And most importantly, a huge amount of success comes down to luck. To say otherwise is disingenuous, and it perpetuates this idea of toxic productivity and subsequently hustle culture. The reality of the world that we live in and the reality of systematic oppression is that in many cases marginalized communities can't just work harder in order to reach success. So I mean, where did this whole idea come from, of the idea that we have to sacrifice everything in our life for work or for notoriety and money and whatever? And to be honest, I think it came from like entrepreneurs and like motivational speakers, celebrities, anyone who consistently talks about working harder to get ahead. It's people like Molly May saying that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's Kim Kardashian saying, get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. It's Dwayne Johnson saying that he gets up at 3:30 in the morning to work out. Because if you want to be successful, you have to make extra time to do everything. I mean, if I wanted to be as huge and as successful as Dwayne Johnson, there's a few other things that I would have to add into my routine as well. It's hashtag never giving up, hashtag no days off, hashtag never dying, hashtag no sleep, hashtag no pain, no gain, hashtag every day I'm hustling, hashtag work hard, hashtag never stop, hashtag don't give up. And we can see this on TikTok and social media where like the popularity of this kind of mentality is insane, with things like hashtag hustle having like 9.2 billion views and hashtag side hustle having 13.8 billion. A lot of people think that they would be more valued or seen as worth more if they were working harder or making more money. And I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, and some of you may have learned to have a good work-life balance. If so, please teach me how. But I'm just trying to communicate that this is everywhere, and this is kind of something that a lot of people have been thinking about. Even hearing myself say all of this, I feel exhausted. It's just too much, isn't it? So why is it glorified? And to be honest, what I've come up with is the fact that we're all in a capitalist society and we're valued for how much money we have, and most people are like viscerally attached to the idea that hard work reaps rewards. We admire people who work hard, and it's why as a society we don't like the idea of nepo babies. We don't like the idea of people being given something that they didn't earn. We like the idea of people being self-made because it means that it might be possible for us to do the same and to succeed and live our lives in ways that we've only dreamed of. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, yes, if I work hard, things will go well for me. So why is this person sitting on the floor on her bedroom telling me that I need to stop working hard? And I'm not saying that at all. What I'm encouraging you to do, and myself to do alongside that, is to look at some of the consequences of subscribing to hustle culture. First of all, the mental health cost of subscribing to this idea is insane. Hustle culture encourages that kind of all or nothing approach, and it's not sustainable. We know that being black and and white in our thinking can lead to things like anxiety, depression, and burnout. The burnout comes from that pressure to kind of consistently perform at a maximum intensity and to never take a break because you might fall behind, fall off the face of the earth. And that is exhausting, even for people who are neurotypical and able-bodied, let alone if you have any sort of neurodivergence or physical incapacity to keep up with the ever-changing and like ever-moving goalposts that hustle culture provides you with. And when I say like ever-changing goalposts, I mean it's kind of one of those things where you never sit down and really appreciate what you've just done. An example of this in my own life is right after I finished my master's degree, I was like, okay, I should do a PhD right now, because if I'm not actively working towards something at all times, then what am I doing? Then I'm not going to be successful in life, which is really sad. It means that I can't celebrate my achievements, and if some of you are feeling that way, I just want you to know you're not alone, and it's fucked. We're also just not going to be producing our best work if we feel burnt out or anxious or depressed. If we constantly feel like we're in that fight or flight state that doesn't allow us to rest. Like, I think you are kidding yourself if you think you'd be able to perform well while burnt out. Like, somewhere inside of us, we have to know the fact that we need rest. Or if you're like me and you do actually manage to take some time off and not do anything in order to rest and recuperate, then you may have like these intense feelings of guilt or shame at the thought of not being productive or feeling like you're lazy. You might feel like so unproductive that you actually turn one of your hobbies into like a hashtag side hustle. So that way you can rest and get paid. But then that turns into feeling like a job as well. And this leads to that kind of vicious cycle of going back to work but being burnt out from working so much. So then you rest and then feeling guilty about resting so that we have to go back to work. Like, oh my god, enough. This is one of those things that when you say it out loud, at least for me, you realize how ridiculous it sounds. But that doesn't mean that that pressure disappears. It doesn't mean that that feeling of guilt or failure from taking a break finally melts away now that you know that it's ridiculous. I notice it for me the most at the gym because I'm a strength and conditioning coach. And so a lot of my time there is a battle in my head about never moving enough or never lifting enough because it's my job to teach other people how to do that, right? And because of that constant pressure of feeling like I'm not measuring up or I'm not doing enough, I end up either not going to the gym or I feel like I'm failing or not doing well enough or just doing what I can that day. I also see it in the gym constantly with other people. People want to work out non-stop. On social media, we hype up people who are able to live in the gym and who have no days off and have these incredible physiques. But the science is not in support of this kind of behavior. We need time to rest and recover, otherwise we can't continue to perform. If we don't rest and recover appropriately in the gym, then we might get injured, maybe irreparably. So if I can see it and recognize it in other people in a gym environment, why can I not recognize it in my own life? Why is it so difficult for so many of us to find that balance? And why do we beat ourselves up for not being productive when we rationally, even sometimes scientifically, know how important rest is? So how the fuck do we break free from this? I don't know. That's the end of the video. Thanks. Seriously, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. One of my subscribers actually posted this comment a few days ago talking about what they do for self-care, and they said that they have a really good balance. So come on, hit us up, let us know what's happening. And here are some ideas that I found from just having a quick look online and seeing what other people have done to try and break free from this toxic productivity and this hustle culture. So first of all, we want to focus on our priorities. I found this one really helped me. So what I want you to do, and what I did, is that I want you to write down what actually matters to you. And for me, that's spending time with the people that I love above all else. So if that means that I don't make as much money because I'm not working 100-hour work weeks, then so be it. I have to accept that because that is not something that I'm willing to sacrifice. Does it make sense for me to beat myself up over something that I know I'm not willing to sacrifice? At the gym, if I apply my priorities to there, I think about it, I know that I'm helping my body by moving. Even if I'm not doing the most, or even if I'm not spending 100% of my time there. I can't spend 100% of my time there because I'm not willing to sacrifice time with my loved ones. So am I willing to accept the fact that I may never be the leanest, I may never be the strongest? Yeah. And rationally, that honestly makes sense because again, my priorities are the people that I love. With ADHD as well, there are so few things that I'm able to focus on for a long amount of time. So why am I consistently beating myself up for not doing something every single second of every day? I don't know. The next tip I found on breaking free from this mentality is to take intentional rest. This means putting the time to rest in your calendar. You're gonna treat it as if it was a really important meeting that you can't miss. I struggle with the guilt of doing this, again, like I've mentioned throughout this video, but I think it's an awesome suggestion. I mean, we would set up our intentions for work and everything, so why not set up some intentions for rest? The next tip is to define your own version of success. What does success actually look like for you? Is it the ability to work from home and have the weekend to yourself? Is it getting a certain promotion? Is success writing your own schedule and working for yourself? Is it being able to support yourself? Is it being able to wake up in the morning without being in chronic pain? There are so many things that success can look like, and it doesn't have to look like what everybody else says it will. For me, success would look like achieving a few certain things in my day. For example, it would look like connecting with other people in my life. It would look like learning something new. It would look like moving my body. It would look like challenging myself in some way. For me, success is being able to work a schedule that allows me to not be in constant pain because of my injuries. And that's what I want. And I know that those things are important to me, but none of those things are necessarily in line with consistently chasing monetary success. So why am I buying into hustle culture and either working myself into the ground or beating myself up for not working myself into the ground? Like, sometimes I'm not even being productive, I'm just being busy. I'm over it, in case you couldn't tell. The last suggestion I have for unsubscribing from hustle culture is to set boundaries. I want you to protect your motherfucking peace, everybody. For example, I am not going to do more than X amount of work today because I know after X amount of work, I'm just kind of staring at my screen and I'm not actually adding anything. It means that this week I will take time for myself to do something that I'm bad at, and I will not reschedule that time. For example, painting. Painting's one of those things that for me, I was like, yes, absolutely, I could turn this into money. Like, I could sell my art and stuff. And I'm like, fuck no, I'm so bad. Like, guys, so bad. So it's okay to do things just because you enjoy them. You don't have to have a million other reasons to do things. So I highly encourage you guys, if this is something that you struggle with, to maybe go through some of these steps with me. And if you have any other ideas, leave them in the comments below. It would be really awesome if we could kind of help each other through this, because I would love to know what you guys think and if you're as tired as I am. That's why I'm unsubscribing to hustle culture and why I think it's a bunch of shit. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and thank you for listening to me share my thoughts. 10 out of 10, great therapy, thanks. Yeah. No, actually, like, go see a therapist. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go do that now.